Okay, exponents. We're going to go a lot faster through exponents because we already covered a bunch of this stuff in grade 9. So if you need to go back and look at the grade 9 stuff, feel free to do so. I'm going to read some of the notes from grade 9 at the top of this page of notes. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable to the left. The base is the letter or letters, and the exponent is the number up to the right of the letter or letters. I'm going to read an English sentence off to the right. Remember, never multiply the base by the exponent, and you must have the same base to use the laws. So those are all from grade 9 last year. Now let's take a look at multiplying with the same base. So let's go for x cubed times x squared. Notice I do rounded x's, a forwards and a backwards c, and x's for times or a dot. Equals what? Well, in the notes you can see that x cubed is x times x times x, and x squared is x times x. So I write those all in a row. Now I have 5 x's, so I know it's x to the 5. How can I get that quicker than writing out that? Well, I can simply just add the exponents. Circle our answer. How do we check our answer? Pick an arbitrary value for x like 3. Type it into the question, type it in the answer, make sure it's the same. 3 cubed. 3 cubed times 3 squared equals 243. 243 equals the answer, x to the 5, 3, our arbitrary x value that we decided on, to the exponent 5 equals 243. Check mark near our answer. So that's multiplication. Remember, go back to grade 9, see all the basic rules. When we're multiplying with the same base, we simply add the exponents. Write those English sentences down or highlight them in the notes. You're going to get so much farther in math having a toolbox of methods that you can apply to questions rather than thinking about what to do. So, off to the right, x to the 5 divided by x squared. So, as you can see in the theory, I've put 5 x's on the top, x times x times x times x times x. On the bottom, I've said x times x. I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom, so I crossed it off. Again, I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom, so I crossed it off. I'm now left with 3 x's on the top, so I know my answer is x cubed. How do I get there? I subtract the exponents. Excuse me, x to the exponent 5 minus 2. And that's x cubed. Circle your answer. Pick an x value, substitute it in to the question and the answer. Make sure they're the same. Check mark. It allows you to figure out, either on a test or by yourself, that you did something wrong and that you need to figure out how to do it correctly. Okay, so that's multiplying with the same base. We add the exponents, and dividing with the same base, we subtract the exponents. Let's now take a look at exponents to exponents. So let's go for x squared all cubed. So as you can see in the notes, the definition of x squared is x times x, and that is still being cubed. So cubed means 3 of those things. So it's x times x times x times x times x times x, which is 6 x's, which is x to the 6. Now, how can we get there quicker? Well, we can multiply the exponents. X to the 2 times 3 equals x to the 6. Again, check your answer, pick an arbitrary value for x, put it into the question, put it in the answer, make sure they're the same, check mark. So, big red, we've added exponents, we've subtracted exponents, and we've multiplied exponents. In review, when we multiply with the same base, we add the exponents. When we divide with the same base, we subtract the exponents. When we have exponents to exponents, we multiply the exponents. Reading from the notes, ultimately, you will either use exponent laws or repeated multiplication and division theory. Okay, down below. Let's take a look at some variables. So let's go for x times y squared. Now, as we talked about in grade 9, if we don't see an exponent, we give them 1. So x has an exponent of 1 and y has an exponent of 1. And then now we're allowed to multiply the exponents like we saw in grade 9. 1 times 2 is 2, so we have x squared. 1 times 2 is 2, so we have y squared. Circle your answer. Pick an arbitrary value for x, pick an arbitrary value for y, put it into the question, put it in the answer, make sure they're the same, check mark. Off to the right, 2x all cubed. Well, again, we could use multiplication theory and write out 2x times 2x times 2x, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and x times x times x is x cubed, as you can see in the notes. Or do multiplication theory, do exponent theory. So the 2 has an exponent of 1, and the x has an exponent of 1. And I'm going to multiply the exponents. So 2 times 1 times 3 is 3, so we get 2 cubed. 1 times 3 is 3, so we get x cubed. 2 cubed is 8, x cubed is x cubed. Circle your answer. In a reminder off to the right there right now, 3 plus 4 squared is not at all equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared. Try it. The left is 3 plus 4. 7 squared is 49. 49. The right is, whoa, I closed the bracket and I accidentally put brackets when I shouldn't have. Let's erase those brackets above to the right. Excuse me. So we cannot distribute this 2. Because if we type the question in, 3 plus 4 is 7, squared is 49. If we type the answer that we think, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 9 plus 16 is 25, and these things aren't equal to each other. You can't do that. We know that 3 plus 4 squared is equal to 3 plus 4 times 3 plus 4, which is 7 times 7, which is 49, which is supposed to be. So often you can figure out how to do things correctly or not simply by checking your answer. Picking an arbitrary value for x, putting it into the question, putting it into the answer, making sure they're the same. Okay, I'm going to shrink this stuff up a tad. Okay, continuing back to the left. So we have 2x. Notice I don't start above where my stuff off to the right finishes, so it always looks perfect. Either way, 2x over y cubed, all squared. Well, 2 on the top has an exponent of 1, x on the top has an exponent of 1, and we can multiply the exponents. The 2 by the 1, and the 3. So we get 2 cubed. Excuse me, erase that. 1 times 2 is 2, we get 2 squared. 2 squared. 1 times 2 is 2, we get x squared. On the bottom, 3 times 2 is 6, y to the 6. Now 2 squared is 4, x squared is x squared, y to the 6 is y to the 6. Sure, pick an x value, pick a y value, put it in the question, put it in the answer, make sure they're the same. Check mark. Okay, at the bottom of the page, let's do 2 questions side by side. So, open bracket, I'm going to say an over first. So open bracket, 6m n cubed over 4m squared n, all cubed. Now I'm going to rewrite that question off to the right. 6m n cubed over 4m squared n, all cubed. Okay, so what to do first? Well, I'm going to show you the simpler way. So I'm going to work on the one on the left. I'm working with exponents, and we always start off with an over. 6 divided by 4, if I divide the top and bottom by 2, I get 3 over 2. Now, I'm going to simplify first. So technically, I have an m to the 1 on the top and an m to the n to the 1 on the bottom. I'm going to work on the m's. As we learned in grade 9, we can subtract from the bottom. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have m to the 1 on the bottom. Then working on the n's, subtracting from the top. 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have n squared on the top. Simplifying the inside first. Then putting the exponent back. then giving stuff exponents of 1 again, and now multiplying the exponents by everything. And we get 3 cubed, n, 2 times 3 is 6, over 1 times 3 is 3, 2 cubed, m, 1 times 3 is 3, m cubed, which is equal to 27, n to the 6, over 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27. And our answer. So, that is my preferred method. Simplify the inside first. If you want to, off to the right, give 6 an exponent of 1, m an exponent of 1, 4 an exponent of 1, n an exponent of 1. Then multiply all the exponents in. Then keep working. Then simplify, and obviously you get the same answer, which is a great way to check. Do it a different way, as you can see I did in the notes. It allows you to study at home way better. Pick an n value, pick an m value, put it into the question, put it into the answer, do it a different way. If you get it the same, it's great. If it's different, pick an m value, put it in, see which one's correct. It allows you to figure out stuff on your own. Okay, so we've seen a review of this whole page. Multiplying with the same base, add the exponents. Dividing with the same base, subtract the exponents. Exponents to exponents, multiply the exponents. So those are the 3 top examples. Then all the rest of the examples were just all the same thing. Multiply the exponents, multiply the exponents, multiply the exponents, possibly do grade 9 simplification. Then big blue off to the right, what to absolutely not do.